Hey, everybody. This is Astrology TV. It is Breaking the Cage. Give me just 1 second because I always try to go back through and make sure that I post it out to my own page before I get started. Once it gives a couple people a couple minutes to get up in here and so forth. Give me just a second. Almost there. I swear I'm trying to get there. Okay. Oh, I am down. Share this out to my group. Alrighty. This is Breaking the Cage, Astrology TV with the Matrix Mind Media. And as always, I want to say thank you to Matt for allowing me to do this show. And that I hope that, it can help bring some energy your way to help understand the energy that's going on. This is why I call it Breaking the Cage, because we are breaking the cage. The society around us, where it's crumbling, we're changing it, we're making a new world. And that's what this is all about, understanding what's coming in energies so that we can be better prepared for how to deal with it as it happens. Now, I'm trying to pull up one more thing because I might need it as a reminder. This is for February 20th through the 27th. Now, here's the thing. Technically, tomorrow is the full moon. Not full moon, the new moon. And for anybody who's been following me, I've been saying all month that I was hoping to have my dragon line out during that new moon right there at President's Day. But true to what I've been giving everybody else as advice, don't push through this right now and force something to come into light in the beginning of a new moon, especially right now. This is a very dark moon, and force something to be ready when it's not ready. So with that being said, for anybody who is interested in that dragon line, most likely it's going to come out more around the equinox because I'm just not comfortable with it yet. And I'm not putting my staple or my sign behind something I'm not ready, and it doesn't fit quite right yet. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody right now. If you're trying to push it into that energy, no. Slow down. This energy is not just a new moon, but it is definitely a dark moon. And not just a new moon in the form of new moons are often where we start new beginnings, we start a new cycle, we start new things, but this isn't exactly going to be a real true start. Okay, this new moon is coming with a lot of darker energy, a lot of deceptive energy. And if we look at the truth of how the energy is playing out, you have the equinox coming right around the corner. And the equinox is bringing balance to both the light and dark. And right there is your key. You're going to have incredibly sensitive energy this week. And for like the next month, but especially this week. You have pretty much in that first house of Aries, you have Venus. You have Venus, Vista, Jupiter, and Chiron. All starting to come together. That's a major power of energy. And this is a lot of shadow energy in here. You got sensitivity going on. You've got with Venus, because I don't care how many times I hear astrologers talk about Venus being, the love energy. Venus is not love. Venus is your sensitivity, your emotional, your body, your emotional, physical, spiritual, and emotional, spiritual, physical, all of them. It's more or less your soulfulness on your sensitivity. It's also the inner waters in your body, high tide and low tide. And we're coming up to pre-setting the direction and really seeing where the balance is with the equinox that's coming in. Plus, you got the full warm moon coming in 2 more weeks. This is really in Virgo. Anal retentive, really pick things apart. You're getting what's going to need to be picked apart in order to make the true new beginning. start to come in. Spirit is reminding me that, as I was saying, as we're coming into the equinox, you're getting a real, true balance coming in with this energy. With, you have Pluto that's about to move into Aquarius. You have Saturn, which is about to move into Pisces. Jupiter will be moving in a month and a half. You have major changes going on. And the best way of putting it, look, I'm trying to make it sound good. I'm so sick of coming out here sounding negative, because it can be a very positive thing. But for those who are around us, who aren't on their spiritual journey, you're going to see this hit. You're going to see this hit really hard in the next month and a half. And what Spirit is giving me is from the movie Star Wars, when Yoda finally looks at the one guy and says, maybe the prophecy was misread. And I don't mean it in the form of, dark energies or the negative energies having more power than the positive, or that the light isn't winning. What I mean is, from a perspective, a three-dimensional perspective, especially for people who are in the mindset of a three-dimensional perspective, who aren't getting the timeline shifting that's going on, who aren't understanding your multi-dimensional selves, you are going to see this hit them. And this is what I mean by the prophecy may be misread, because what Spirit is giving me is really, truly, it's a song. Is a Canadian rapper, and Spirit's, I have some negative energies that are really on me right now, because they do not want me to say this, but I don't give a damn. Because, I wouldn't be much of a warrior if I just washed out every time, something is trying to keep me from spreading the light I'm trying to spread, and try to bring the knowledge that you need about getting into that positive, that high vibrational energy. This song, I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it, but it's important because it's the last line of this rhyme that is what Spirit is getting at. Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, they hate you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom, fighting for what is right, but somehow everyone is wrong. That you are coming into the equinox energy. You are coming into major shifting energies. You are coming into Saturn that's going to be moving out of Aquarius in the next 2 weeks and going into Pisces. Your rules, your walls, your boundaries are going into I don't know. Do it feel comfortable? Maybe I'm too brave. Maybe I don't know. You're going into the 12th house of Pisces with this energy. It's not going to be the most powerful. I am being told that the energies that you are coming up and into are non-negotiable energies. This is literally reweaving the fabric of the timelines. And the next month, with the shifting energies and the hostile energies that you're going to see from people who are losing their power, that reweaving has a lot to do with where you are. Like I was just saying, Spirit was pointing out, plain and simple, from that song, here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what is right, but somehow everyone is wrong. This has everything to do with your spiritual understanding, your spiritual soul self, coming into that oneness. And are you there? Or how in conflict are you with that? How multidimensional are you? Seriously, how well do you know your energy and your vibration? Remember, you can't wish manifestation. You can't create vibration that isn't real. It's like I tell people all the time, if I'm using astrology as an energy, I'm like, if your energy would be Pluto, death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration, Well, that's the energy you're in. You can't be Venus or you can't be Mercury. You have to understand the energy in which you are. And then you have to choose to be the energy you wish to be. This is how manifestation works. Like energy attracts like energy. We are reweaving the timelines. And there are many, many timelines for everybody across this world. And you're going to see people who are not in your timeline. Are you going to lower yourself and put yourself back in their timeline? No. No, 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 no. But you have to realize, like I was saying, and I've been saying this for 3, possibly 4 years now, because that's part of my shaman symbol, is revolution. And part of it is, you have to allow that first line to take themselves out. I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to be. And I've been saying this. You have to be around to stick around for the next day. You have to be wise. You have to be smart. You have to fight correctly if you're going to survive, if you're going to be around to tell the story. So this is using that high vibration, stepping into the timelines you want and not getting redirected with the hostile energies that are going to come out, with the push and shove energies that are going to come out. You have the moon that is going to be crossing over, starting with that that new moon in Pisces, starting to show the bounces of that dark and that light, as I keep getting Yoda in my head from them, of going, some of the prophecy might have been misread. Because for some of them, they're in lower vibrations and they're hoping for better, but they're not going to get it because their timeline is low. And you have to really realize you're reweaving here. It's highly important. You have the moon that's going to go through that Pisces in new moon, then it's going to go directly into Aries, that moon energy, and then into Taurus, before eventually it's going to get into Gemini. Now, hear me out. Aries is the beginning of a cycle, but it is a me first energy. It is where the meek have the balls to get up and stand and to speak their mind. It's where those who are already in their power are definitely not going to lower it, but aren't going to bother to play the game. That's what this is. Are you going to play the game and ultimately lower your vibration? Or will you rise up into the higher vibration and can't be touched? That's your key. And you need to hold on to that throughout the next month. But especially this week, like I was saying, you have, super sensitive energy as that moon travels through Aries, and it's going to be going over Venus, Vesta, Juno, Chiron, Jupiter, and ultimately Eris. That's a lot of energy. Then into Taurus, where the North Node is, and Uranus, before it moves into Gemini, coming closer to Mars. Sensitivity is going to be off the chain. And that push and shove, that dictative energy, that manipulative energy, that, well, if I can't have what I want, then fuck it. You're going to see a lot of that just, what the hell was that about? Ground yourself, get into the custom of remaining grounded, centered, because Spirit is also giving me a toad, not a frog, a toad. And toads have like a negative name or negative idea a lot. Toads are often seen more of the darker side of the perspective over the frog, okay? But the toad speaks to you of endurance over some of the worst weather ever. This is a lot about what we're talking about. They also have camouflage built in, which allows them to adapt and change to their environment. These are keys that you're being given from spirit, as well as connecting with your inner resources. When you're connecting with your inner resources, your inner you, your inner vibration, you're not allowing that outer world to penetrate or dictate or leave its impression upon you. Then you're not just getting into your inner resources, you're getting into your inner divine peacefulness, your inner divine peace that can't be shaken. This is part of getting into the power of who and what you are. Some of the most dangerous people are people who are in their power, who don't get rattled when everyone else is rattled, who, when they say no, that's the end of it. Even though others will try to be in your face and try to push and try to manipulate, but when you're in your power, no is no. You could cry, stomp, all you want. I am my soulfulness. I am my soulness. I am what I choose to be. I create my reality. And this is what they're asking. How are you on your multidimensional self? How are you on the energy of what you are? How true are you with acknowledging where some of these shadow selves, some of these darker parts of yourself, how much are you seeing it? It's like chutes and ladders out there. Also, being with that toad energy has a lot to do with deceptive energy because of the camouflage of the skin. But this also speaks to us of positive and negative, depending on how you're viewing it. It speaks to us also, like the frog, of water, emotional energy, but cleansing energy as well. And the earth energy, which the toad is more known for being on the ground and grounding yourself so that you can stay centered in all of the energies that are taking place. Like I said, you have the full moon, which would be considered the worm moon in Virgo, takes place next month on the 7th, the same day as Saturn moves. So even though, like I said, tomorrow's the new moon in Pisces, we're really getting into soul denial, soul lacking, where we're not truly facing ourselves or where we are, but we see others that aren't, and where that's causing, that bad energy. Then you're going to go towards the equinox, which is, again, the balancing of the equator, balancing of the earth itself, and the way that we see it. It's the harvest, the seeds you've been making to harvest the direction and the timeline you're trying to create for the next 6 months. Remember, eclipses go for 6 months, but so do the equinox, basically for a 6-month period. Or it would be for the 3 month, from a 3-month scent to a 3-month scent. So you're looking at a bigger game than just that full moon cycle that's only a month. We're looking at the bigger picture here, is what I'm trying to get to you. I'm looking at the bigger shifting of this planetary energy and what you're seeing going on in society. Again, it's building non-negotiable energy. It's overcoming the limitations that many of you still believe in. But when you step into the soulfulness, there's no limitations other than the ones you believe in. This is why Spirit is directing me into saying, not timelines, how multidimensional are you? When I get into the blueprint this week, again, let me just start off right here with this one, because let me remind you, I was saying to you guys last week, you're having a lot of dimensional illusions taking place, a lot of additional amped up psychic energies, but some of them are delusional amped up, meaning what dimensional energy are you really on? Dimensional illusions. I'm sorry. Dimensional illusions. Some of these are negative energies that are giving the deceitful energy that is a higher vibration and is coming in very lacking. It's forthcoming in its energy. And how in tune are you with your gut, your sensory of that energy, and are you able to tell the difference? Some of these energies are going really negative really fast, and you need to know how to ground, center yourself, and push that energy back so that it's not interfering with you. As we're making a lot of these changes, you're going to have more situations with the lymph nodes, more situations with your psychic disorders, hallucinations, addictions, poisoning, fantasy versus reality, dreamland, dreams, more psychic activity, more intuition. And are you actually trusting it? But can you tell the difference between the vibrations? This is part of what I try to explain to people. Are you only getting the first wave? The first wave of energy often is not what that energy really truly is. Can you sift deep enough, quick enough to know the difference? You have a lot of bronchial energies that are going to be happening. The bronchial tubes, as these energies are starting to take place. The bones, your skin, your nails, your hair, your teeth. Saturn's getting ready to move. A lot of this may be acting up. You may be having skin rashes, skin disorders that are showing themselves, teeth that are hurting more than normal, circulation within the body, especially in the legs. You may be having more immune deficiencies, not able to bounce back and regenerate from illnesses or spiritual flu energy right now. Because like I said, Pluto, as it's getting ready to move, has a lot to do with your rejuvenation. It has a lot to do with your immune system. And as these are starting to take place, it's wreaking havoc on a lot of the body, especially in those areas where we're not looking at the true chakras. And what I say by that is, so many people only want to talk about your mainstream 7 chakras, not about the backdoor chakras, the thymus, the zeal point, your Om chakra, or the ones from the hips down. They've taught you to ignore those, that those aren't really important. But if you aren't working with all of these chakras, especially the lower vibrational chakras from the hips down, which deal with all of that ego, everything you're cleaning out from above is for nothing, because it's going to sift up. So this is seriously, we're moving into the mainstream stories are not good enough anymore. It's time to get real. It's time to really take control of your spirituality, of your body, of your vibration, and be responsible for what we are allowing to happen in our lives, which then is creating our manifestation. So this is very much a good thing. It also deals with your metabolism. A lot of this is dealing with things that, we have got to start paying better attention to. Plus, you've got right here in the head, you have Venus, which is basically going over the third eye. Venus and Vista are basically brain activity, period. The third eye and the brain activity, which has everything to do with what you see, hear, smell, and how you interpret it and send it through your spinal column and into all those other chakras. As then what will happen from the way your brain chose to interpret it. Venus is your sensitivity, getting into what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. How your third eye is high vibrational or not? Is your crown open or not? Is it getting clogged? Are you getting, like a lot of the energies I explain when you're getting too much coming in at once? Sometimes it's like when you're getting on a plane and you're up in the air and your ears have to pop. That's a little moment of blockages that you have to adjust. You have Jupiter, which is literally sitting on the nerves of the eyes. Chiron, which is the nerves pretty much of the eyes again. All of these, it's your whole head. And the moon's going to come in, adding extra oomph to it. So your thinking process, being in control of your thinking, is highly important this week. Because that sensitivity, you want to make sure you're not being redirected by interference. Because that's your key. Will you be redirected by interference? Because you're not controlling it. You're allowing it to go with the flow. That's autopilot. And I cannot say enough, we have to get out of that autopilot, that hive mind. We have to start being responsible for the way we are projecting our life, our thinking, our manifestation, our psychic spirituality, and our timelines. The weaving of the fabric of your multi-dimensional self. You have the North Node, which has been on the vocal cords for a while. This is speaking about how and what will you speak. The North Node is everything you need to learn in order to move forward, in order to help you regain all of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, that inner power, that inner freedom. Uranus is also in this energy. It's on the esophagus. This is being able to breathe in integrity and stand in that power. And if you're not doing that, there's something there that you need to address within your own soul self, your own shadow self, that only means there's some healing somewhere inside you need to address more so that we can find that healing and help move you into that integrity, into that power of you. You have Mars, which is in Gemini, which technically is going over, this is what Spirit was directing me at, it is going over the rib area. However, it's in the area that causes the asthma, causes the breathing problems, causes the panic attacks. This is also connecting it directly with the heart chakra. So this is speaking about taking special loving time for you, time to back out and go, you know what, I have to love me today. I'm going to do what I need before I address all these fools out here, before I address society and the shoots and ladders game. I'm going to center myself, love myself, and then come back out. Not allowing that heart chakra to be damaged or picked and prod at. This is about protecting yourself by standing in that power of that I am of love energy. And I'm not going to allow something that's of a lower vibration to distract me into harming myself. Then you have Pallas, which I've been saying the whole time because she's been creeping along really slow. She's in the gastric energy. This is the stomach. This is the psychic sponge area. This is the digestive energy. What are you digesting? Pallas is Athena, the warrior goddess. She is literally, what kind of energies are you pulling into your aura and into your body? And what are you digesting that you are not releasing, surrendering, and letting go of? But in fact, keeping you from moving forward, keeping you weighed down, and keeping your vibration lower. Lilith is the heart again. And like I said, Ceres, which is one of those that nobody wants to talk about because she doesn't appear to really be talking to anybody, even though Ceres is karma, the threefold, and speaking to you all about what you nurture or what you neglect in your relationship zone directly across from Aries, which is a freaking full loaded house. speaking directly to the character of who and what you are and how you view the world and your relationships to yourself and others. She is literally on the nervous system and the kidneys, sacral chakra, and connecting to all chakras. This is highly important energy about self-love, self-respect, and not allowing yourself to be part of the game. Don't be part of the chutes and ladders. Don't lower yourself to it. Don't allow yourself to get distracted, because that's what they're hoping for. Welcome to the system. This is about us not being part of it, not playing, and not getting ourselves in the violence that's just going to make us part of the system. The vicious cycle. And we get into the actual astrology this week. Like I said, this is good. It is very good energy because it's teaching you how to love yourself. It's teaching you how to embrace the parts that you're having problems with. But you do need to take you time and make sure that you're giving you that so that you can rise up. You have the moon, which is, these are very positive energies, okay? The moon, which during that full moon energy is directly going to be having conversations with Aries and with Taurus. Everybody in Aries, everybody in Taurus. And then it's going to be, it's going to be moving through Aries, Taurus, and then Gemini, which I pretty much explained. As I start to get into the sextiles, depending on how you're viewing them, the different sextiles are always very positive energies. They are opportunities. It's there for you to take it. It's there for you to take the win and go and make it a new situation. But the problem with sextiles is it feels too comfortable. If you wait, you will miss the opportunity. You have Pluto, which is sextiling Saturn. Both of them are at 29 degrees. Highly important. I ain't taking any more shit. Moving incredibly slow. Did you get the freaking memo of what's going on? That's what their energies are. Ball busting energies right now. As they're about to leave Capricorn and leave Aquarius and move into their new houses. This is the authority of the outer world, your honor and your reputation, society, and your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, your groups, your memberships. What are you a part of? Are you having the proper boundaries here? Or are you flimsy on your boundaries? Are you flimsy in your power? Or do you just do as you're told? This is about finding the authority, claiming it, calling it back to you. You are a multidimensional self. There is more than just you going on right now, here in this moment. There is more than just you in your life. You have other lives. You've had other lives. You still have other lives. You can multidimensionalize. So you could create anything. How big is your energy? How much of it do you have control of? Only you can do it by believing in you and standing in that power, calling it back to you. This is speaking of setting new ground, setting new directions, changing things, making it work for you, going towards the goals of the dreams, the ambitions, bringing it into fruition. There's an opportunity, something that can be tweaked. Like I said, the new moon is here, but maybe not perfectionally ready. Like I said in the beginning with my dragon line, I'm not quite satisfied. I'm going to keep working at it. It's getting tweaked. You also have Pluto, which is getting along great with Neptune. Neptune's in that 12th house, but it's the soul's magic. It's illusion, delusion. It's fantasy, reality. You can breathe anything into reality, but are you breathing in, I am creating where I want to go. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction. It is the soul going, I have the balls to show you I am here. It reminds me also, this energy, of I had a meme I posted the other day, which is like my multi-dimensional self, and it's sitting at a desk, and it's like I've come into the realization of my multi-dimensional self, and it's like a desk of everybody sitting there at a meeting, and then big birds in the middle. How into your power are you? Are you still worried about what others think? Or have you gotten secure within yourself? This is a big part of what we're talking about. Your inner security, your inner peace, your inner, I can't be moved. You have the Neptune, which is also speaking with Mercury, which is in the 11th house. The goals, the dreams, the ambitions, the groups, the memberships, what you are a part of. It is there to work for you if you word it properly and you carry yourself properly. It can happen. Incredibly powerful energy. Both Saturn and Neptune, both Saturn and Pluto at 29 degrees. This is like knockdown door energy. I'm coming through. Deal with it. You have the Sun in the 12th house of Pisces, speaking directly with Venus and Juno. Sorry, Venus and Vista. This is the keys to the doors, to opening the doors. It's the first house. Working through that sensitivity, coming into loving yourself, your character on all timelines, all positive and negative, loving yourself for who and what you are as a whole, and opening up the keys to the door of you, the character of you, the manifestation that you bring, the reality you are creating. The sun is there to illuminate it, to make it shine and to make you be seen, but it's in the 12th house. It is asking you, will those insecurities throw you off? Will you believe more in sticking a hold of something that you've known, that you've been comfortable with, instead of taking the balls and stepping through the door? Because these are doors opening and closing, weaving the fabric of the timelines. It's up to you to be the weaver of your life. You've got Venus and Vista, which is also speaking directly with the North Node. That's in your vocal cords, literally speaking to you about, will you speak it? Or will you be afraid to speak it? If you don't speak, it's how are you going to ever get what you want if you're afraid to ask? And in some cases, you don't have to ask. It's yours. But this is about believing that, this soul part, this energy can't be taken away from me. It's mine. I don't have to fight for it. It's mine. And I can live my life the way I want. This is that 12th house. This is that first house, your character, the way the world sees you, the way you see you, the way you're creating your reality, speaking directly to the second house. The second house isn't just the North Node and Uranus here. It's also the possession of all those little things that help you be you. I tell people all the time, like having your cell phone helps you be you. For me, my dreads. For many people, it's their crystals. What helps them connect with their soulful self? What helps them get that energy, to believe in it, to stay in that? That is law of attraction. That is the manifestation energy. And when you're not in it, someone or something else is taking advantage of it. I promise you. And that's not what you want. So this is speaking about the sensitivity of exploration of yourself and believing it. Then you have Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars. The abundance of either the healing and the knowledge of the self, the character of the self coming into that power, quite literally, independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, Uranus in that second house, claiming that power, identifying with that power, bringing the healing and calling all parts of yourself back to you, stepping into that soul light, that source energy, and then speaking directly with Mars, the heart chakra, as well as aggressive enough, action enough in the communication to make it happen. You have some trine energy that's going on. These are all like good energies. There are some negatives. We're getting there. You have the South Node, which is in the 8th house. And the South Node is, more or less where we're having problems getting past our comfort zone, where we're having problems with stepping into the new world, where we're having problems with seeing things from a different perspective because the only perspective you've ever known is what was drilled into your head. The only relationships you've ever known was the ones that you've had and what you were told was good relationships, but were they? This is birth, death, rebirth. This is where relationships are able to be rekindled and created, where fertility comes, where brand new birth comes, the magic of life comes. Can you tap into that magic? Or are you just going to stay with what you know because that's what you've known and that's just going to be good enough? It is speaking directly with the sun, illuminating you for who you see you to be, how you see that world. What world do you see? What dimension are you on? What timeline are you on? If you don't like the timeline, it's up to you to change you. And I don't mean change you. I mean get above the lower vibration. Step out of it. You're creating it. Then we do have some seriously strange chain energies. And I always call them chain energies because technically there's not aspects written for it in astrology, but I learned most of my astrology through spirit. So I see things that others don't necessarily point out. And you have Uranus, which is not getting along with Mercury. Your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, standing in your power, owning your power is not getting along with Mercury in that outer community. The groups, the memberships that you are part of, your work friends, that outer community and the authority out there is going, well, should I stand up for myself? Maybe I should try to play team. Is it really a team? Really? Because see, that Mercury energy is getting along great with Mars, which is another Mercury energy. Mars is in Mercury's home. Communication with the passion, the action, the aggression, the fire. Going for the outer world, not necessarily for you. And then that energy, again, is fighting with Pluto. That authority of that outer world and you having your power in it. It's a challenge. It's up and down. It's what I'm seeing is, again, like the waving of the fan fire energy. Will you stand in your power or will you give it away? It's there. It's just not going to be handed to you because, well, you want it. You must take it. You also have Lilith this week, which is in that heart energy. Literally, she's sitting in the heart Lilith is your fifth house, your creativity on a universal scale. She speaks to you about your creativity, your expression, what you enjoy in life. Do you get to enjoy your life? Do you get to have fun? Do you get to do the things you want to do? Because if you're not, there's something wrong. You were put here. Yes, you were brought back for part of this major change. And yes, we all have something we're here to do. But you weren't just put here to be a drone to do part of this major shift in health. You're also here to enjoy and experience life. Are you enjoying it? Are you experiencing it? Because if you're not, you're in that not in that higher vibration. Lilith in the heart is asking you, are you having the chance to express yourself, to do these things that you love? And she is absolutely not getting along with either one of the nodes, the north node or the south node. That eighth house of those relationships and the rebirthing, or having good, healthy rules, walls, and boundaries that make those relationships work, versus are you getting your part of what you need in those relationships? Second house, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, integrity. Then she is not getting along with Mars, the action, passion, aggression, fire of the communication of the third house, everything that's up close and personal to you. A lot of mirror energy. Communicating. What are you communicating? Are you going to get to where you're like the lion in the cage and you're just going to lose it? Or are you in your power? She's asking you to find that you love you enough to be like, this will not continue. New sheriff in town. She is not getting along with Pluto, the authority of the outer world, your honor, your reputation, the way you're seen. They also say a lot of times when you come into your power, you're seen as a bitch. It's not that you're a bitch or an asshole. It's just that you're not manipulative. You're not going to be taken advantage of. That's what we're asking. You have so many people out there in this world out here, this society out here, that have put themselves in different levels of thinking that they could get away with certain things while they keep everybody else on the lower chain. You going to continue to allow that? I mean, some of these rules, these walls, these boundaries are good ones that need to stay, you know, in the way of, if you actually would stand in the power of those rules, walls, and boundaries, and you push back properly. No, that's the rule. Sorry, I know that what you used to get away with, but sheriff in town, new boss. Sorry, that's the way life goes. It's that simple sometimes. Forcing those lower vibrations and negative energies to go somewhere else, to get out of your timeline. You have Lilith, which is having incredibly unpredictable energy with the sun, which is in that 12th house. This has to do with, well, you find the healing and stand in that power, start to bring healing to the insecurities, or hide behind them again. It's unpredictable. It can go either way. It depends on the free will of you. You have Lilith again, that creativity, that being able to be yourself. It's your fun zone. It's your joy of life. Speaking directly with all of that energy in the first house, Venus, Vista, Jupiter, which is definitely going to amplify the energies going on to Chiron, onto Juno, and onto Eris. Jupiter is the magnification going on in that first house with everything. The healing is here. You just have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to breathe fire back into your soul. And if not, this is why I said this is all about that next month of energy as we're coming into the equinox. Even I said my dragon incense, which is all about breathing that fire of our soul and getting into that higher vibration energy, those incense and those oils. I'm not bringing them out yet because I'm not satisfied. But that didn't mean I quit. I'm just still tweaking. You have unpredictable energy between Mars and Venus, your yin and your yang, which is your third house and your first house. Your character and actually being and speaking, do they match? Is who you think you are matching who the world sees and what you were communicating? That's a mirror energy. Yin and yang, light and dark of in yourself. Then you have the North Node, which is in that second house, the possession of your own power. Vocally, literally speaking it, which is unpredictably speaking with Venus. Your sensitivity, you may be shaking a little in your shoes as you speak up, as you start to believe in your power. But if you don't ask and you don't say it, you don't verbally bring it into reality, it's not so. It's coulda, shoulda, woulda, and that shit will drive you mad. You have Pluto, which is having incredibly unpredictable energy with everything in the first house. Venus's sensitivity, your character, your keys to changing the cycles. Jupiter to amplify the knowledge of your soul self and bring it into light. Chiron, healing it for once, finally. Juno, getting into also harvesting it, the creating, the healing of it. Unpredictable. Well, you stand your ground and be who you really want to be, or will the outer authority, the outer world project what it wants on you, and you will just go with the flow. It's unpredictable. It's free will. It's up to you. You've had for the last week, and you will have all week, what I'm considering another yod in astrology. But yods are known as, a creator energy. But this is coming in a very obstacle way. It's coming from negatives, for very challenging energies. Nothing about this is easy. And it is all directed directly to that Pluto in that 29th house as it's shifting. Not taking any more games, not pulling any more of this. The authority can be yours if you'll come into it, if you'll own it, if you'll be part of it, if you'll show the world the great soul person that you are and start honing in. It is definitely not getting along with Mars, that communication. And that third house, up close and personal, everything, making you a little question, doubt yourself. No. Know yourself. Because this is having its other conversation with Lilith. The heart. The heart and the creativity that gives you the balls to be the soul person that you are. Your soul fire. This can bring you into so much tranquil energy, so much healthy communicative energy. But you have to do it. You have, like I said, and it's not going to be comfortable. You have Lilith, which is not getting along with the sun. The heart and the sun. 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, skeletons in the closet, holding on to the stories we've told ourselves that's okay when we know damn well they're not. But it's what we've known. Why try something new? I know this. That's scary. Get out of your comfort zone. Illuminating the change of that comfort zone. Getting back into your soul fire. Stepping away from society, stepping away from the crowd, stepping away from the herd. You have the South Node, which is not getting along with Lilith or with Neptune. The heart and the soul, and the power of your magic. Will you give it away, or will you claim it? But again, that power isn't because you're manipulative, isn't because you're fighting, isn't because you're violent, isn't because you're aggressive in a negative way, but because I don't have to be. I'm me. I choose what is okay with this. And if you don't like it, well, stuff. It's not about violence. And it's not about fixing things, even though a lot of us keep doing it the wrong way. It's about stepping into that soul power. And as Spirit was putting in the beginning, as we're coming through this equinox energy, as we're moving towards it, and we're truly seeing the light in the dark coming up and out, it's about not having the prophecy read wrong. It's claiming your power. But only you can do it. I love you guys. I will see you next week. Bye.